peace of Christ be with you, and also with you. Let us stand and greet one another. Simple words that we say every Sunday. Well, at least we did before the pandemic. But these are very simple words, and we even say them sometimes here when we're watching on YouTube. The peace of Christ be with you. Our reading this week talked a lot about what does it mean to pass the peace. And honestly, I'd never thought much about it other than it was just a way to greet people, kind of a pleasantry, you might say, that we just do on a Sunday morning. But I liked how Tish Warren writes about it in this book, that passing of the peace is a reminder to us that peace is something that is real, it's tangible. We can experience it here on earth. You know, one of the things that Tish Warren writes about, though, when it relates to peace, is also this aspect of love. And she says, for a lot of us, it's easy to love the stranger, but the people inside our homes, the person we sleep next to, all of a sudden we can throw that love thy neighbor right out the window pretty quickly. And yet perhaps that relationship or those relationships are the most important for us to care for, protect, and to serve. You know, in biblical times, someone's home and their land was considered their lot in life. And nobody was necessarily upset by it because they believed that God had let their boundary lines fall into good and pleasant places. But there was something that happened in that lot. You took care of not only the ground, but the animals, the harvest, your home, but also your family. And this was, in a sense, kind of a microcosm of what God was wanting to teach the Israelites, is that how we learn to love, how we teach children about God and about faith, it all happens at home. You know, this is an ancient wisdom, but psychology, you could say, has finally caught up to some of the Bible's wisdom. And we would say today that what happens at home really matters. If you have a bad home life as a child, statistics and psychologists will tell you those effects will be felt for the rest of your life. But I highlight this because of the biblical notion that we have, particularly in the Western culture of romanticism, is that love is really about being emotionally high. You know, you'll see in Hollywood or even in maybe your favorite story that the character won't be complete or feel whole until they have found just that right one or they experience true love. And in many ways, Western notions of love tend to be more centered around how I will feel once I am loved and how I'll feel complete. But it just runs counter to how God talks about love in the Bible. Love, we see it best expressed in Jesus Christ. And in Jesus, Jesus served others. Jesus put others before himself. It also was sacrificial in many ways as well. And so what we see in the Bible is that love is very tangible and it makes sense. And it's not just the person that decides or willingly gives love, but it impacts somebody else profoundly and deeply. And in fact, it could be even healing. So going back full circle, your home, your lot in life, the people in your home, in your house. I understand they can be some of the hardest people to love, especially when they wrong you or they make a mistake that you just say, we would never make that mistake as a family. And yet they did, and they do. But one of the things that we need to recognize, I think, and Tish tells us this, is that when we show love, when we show peace in our homes, we're not only modeling for our children, our grandchildren, what it means to truly love one another. Not this Western idea of romance and true love that we all kind of fall prey to. But love is costly, and it means something deeply. But the other part that I love is that when we show true love to other people, especially in our homes, it models to a society that suffers from injustice, from cruelty, that love and peace are real things and they actually happen. And so that's our encouragement for this week. I'd be anxious to hear what you thought about this week's reading and how it impacted you. I know I just took one dimension of it, but I'm sure you'll find a lot of other ways that you can read this text and apply it to your life. God bless you.